Just like skin, soil is a living, breathing ecosystem, and many of us go through life unaware of its importance, yet so much of what we consume comes from soil, from the food we eat, the beauty products we use, and the clothes we wear. Healthy soil is vital for the future of our planet and everyone who lives on it, but it's being destroyed 10 times faster than it's being created. And did you know that a teaspoon of soil contains more living beings than there are people on Earth? For a deep dive into soil, I've travelled to the Weleda UK gardens to learn more from environmental activist Arizona Muse and Claire Hattersley, head gardener for Weleda for over 20 years. Claire, it's so lovely to see you again, and what an incredible place to work. Can you tell us, firstly, why soil is such a precious resource and why it needs to be protected?
Well, first of all, let me say you're very welcome to my office. It is a fabulous place to work. So soil is so precious, and I think people don't always realise that it's actually the start of everything.
Yeah.
We grow everything we need from the soil, and if the soil is not healthy, the planet isn't healthy, and we won't be healthy as well.
Yeah.
So it really is our most precious resource.
How does the soil hold carbon or sequester carbon? What is all of that about?
Well, good healthy soil is full of organic plant matter. And so if you think when the plants were actually growing in the atmosphere, they're absorbing CO2, carbon, from the atmosphere, and they lock it inside themselves.
Right.
Modern farming practices, when they actually start to damage the soil and we lose the life in the soil,
Yeah.
that's when the carbon is released.
And can you tell me, so once the soil's damaged, is there any way of reversing that?
Yes, there are plenty of ways, and this is where the word regenerative agriculture comes in. The modern farming methods have done quite a lot of damage with the way that we've assumed that there's life in the soil isn't important.
So if there's a pest or a disease within the crops, how do you deal with that in biodynamic farming without chemicals?
So what we're aiming to do is create a healthy organism in the soil first, and you know yourself, if you're feeling well and healthy, then you're more able to fight off the cold or be less susceptible to getting ill. So if we can maintain health and vitality on the farm or garden first, and have lots and lots of different life, they will actually do the work for us.
So Claire, this is an amazing, a very impressive piece of land. Can you just tell us what's going on here?
Well, this is one of our crop fields, and we've just sown our oat seed. So we're following the principles of a regenerative agriculture and trying to minimise the amount of times that we turn the soil. By moving the soil when we need to and sowing the seed straight away, we'll actually get a good crop, but with minimum weed disturbance.
Am I right in thinking that every minute around 30 football pitches of fertile soil are being destroyed? I mean, what is happening to our soil, Claire?
Well, you're right, Lisa, it is actually getting a bit desperate now. So I would say today a quarter of the world's total soil area contains significantly less humus and nutrients than it did 25 years ago. And it is no longer suitable for growing crops, so we are actually destroying soil.
So Claire, what's Weleda's approach to soil?
Well, Weleda have always grown their own plant ingredients, and we've got 8 gardens across the world, and when we can't actually grow all of the ingredients that we need, we actually ask our partners. So we have 50 projects throughout the world, and they're growing our plants for us because we want to make sure they're the best quality that we can get hold of.
So today we have Arizona Muse with us, who is a world-renowned model. She's also very passionate about social justice, sustainability, and you are an environmentalist as well with an amazing charity called Dirt.
Absolutely.
Can you tell us about Dirt? What's your ambition with it?
I love the work that I'm able to do through Dirt. I launched it last year, and Dirt works to regenerate soil globally, and that means that on a daily basis I am talking to farmers all over the world, and I'm able to ask them, what do you need? How can Dirt support the amazing work that you're doing to regenerate soil?
Obviously you're so passionate about soil. How did you even start learning about it?
I started learning about soil unexpectedly. I was on my journey to learn about fashion, and having been a model for a long time, I realized I didn't know enough about the clothes I was helping to sell, where they were coming from, who was making them.
Can you explain biodynamic farming?
Yes. Yes, I can. So biodynamic farming is one type of regenerative agriculture. And regenerative agriculture is a way of growing crops that is restorative to soil. And through this whole process, you're regenerating the environment in a way that you invite insects in. And then birds come in. And then all these creatures can live there when they used to not be able to. And that is true climate resiliency.
And what do you hope to see in 10 years' time from now?
I hope to see that the biodynamic farming movement has become the most important and widely known type of agriculture because it has the potential to actually turn around our climate situation. And we're still spreading 200 million tons of fertilizer every year. Fertilizer is a synthetic chemical that shouldn't be used because if you have healthy soil, you don't need fertilizer.
Now, I've got a little girl who's 5.5, you've got 2 children as well. How do you communicate sustainability and biodynamic farming with them?
So my kids have a big age difference. I have a 3-year-old daughter and a 13-year-old son. So very different, obviously, the way that we speak to each of them. My daughter, if you ask her where her jumper is from, she'll say the sheep made it for me. And I feel like that's the level of connection we need little kids to have, to understand that a jumper doesn't come from a store. There was someone who knitted it. There was a sheep who had the wool. I mean, it's just that beautiful cycle of life and circularity. Circular economy is what we're calling it now, but it's a cycle of life. That jumper, if it's not dyed with toxic chemicals, could go on a compost pile and become soil to feed the microorganisms who will feed the next generation of plants. Like, that's where it's so important. So all these things I'm telling my daughter, who's 3, and my son, who's 13, is a little expert on all things to do with sustainability because since he was 6 and I got really into this when he was about 6, he's my favorite person to come and talk to you about it.
Oh, that's great.
Children are so logical that it makes so much sense to them, all of this.
So Arizona, can you give us some tips as individuals on how we can actually protect the soil ourselves?
Absolutely. Composting is one of the most important things that we can do. Saving your food waste, making soil with it, distributing that rich soil into your garden helps the health of your plants and reduces the amount of chemicals that you need to do, which brings me to the next thing. Completely stop using chemicals on your garden. Support farmers by going to volunteer on their farms or just buying directly from farms. So spend a little time researching. I have a lot of fun doing this. Find the biodynamic farms near you. See if you can buy directly from them or see if they're selling in a farmer's market that you can access on the weekends. That helps so much. Organic, definitely. I really, first of all, look for the biodynamic symbol, which is Demeter. Demeter is the one who certifies biodynamics, and that means to me that it's the highest quality of farming.
You've been working with Weleda on their Save Earth's Skin campaign, haven't you? Do you want to tell us a bit about that?
Yes, I love this. So the phrase Save Earth's Skin, the skin of the earth. Of course, we put so much effort into looking after our skin. Let's do the same for soil, which is the skin of the earth. So that to me was just the perfect fit for Dirt and Weleda to work on together, supporting biodynamics all over the world, raising awareness that we touch soil in our daily lives numerous times a day without actually getting our hands dirty, just by the products that we buy, because they are coming from farms.
Tell me about working with Weleda. What's it like?
One of the things that I really admire about Weleda is that not only do they source the ingredients that are so richly nutritious and grown in ways that are causing fertilization of the soil, but they're also looking at the qualities of the plants and the properties that they hold. So for instance, one of the reasons why willow bark cleanser has willow in it is because the willow tree grows in very wet soil and it likes to aerate the soil and dry things out and purify it. So it has the same effect on our skin.
Yeah, amazing.
So we invest 1% of the company's turnover in the preservation of biodiversity, in protecting the climate and conserving the soil. And this year we've actually committed €400,000 to soil-focused projects across the globe. Yeah, so Weleda are really doing their bit for the soil.